Is a trade with the Pirates for a starting pitcher imminent? What could it look like? Is there potential of a closer being dropped in? Bob Nightengale of the USA Today feels like the Cubs are in serious talks right now to add Mitch Keller to the rotation. I'm going to tell you what Mitch Keller would bring to the Cubs and who the Cubs would probably send back in a deal to Pittsburgh to add a starting pitcher and a former All-Star. We're going to get into that right now on the Cubs baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's get this thing going. A lot going on in the world of Cubs baseball. We got you covered. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel. Great to see you guys here and a lot to talk about. I feel like I say that every day, but it feels like there is a lot to talk about. Cubs with a 2-0 loss. Jose Altuve with a home run, the only scorer in the game. I know a lot of frustration because Cubs pitched well enough to win, but they didn't get the offense going at all. And they end up losing the series in Houston 2-1. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. Felt like we're trying to get the starting pitching to match the offense and get back on track. So off today and then back at it again tomorrow. But let's get into this. Bob Nightengale on Sunday reported that the Cubs and the Pirates are in serious trade talks about Mitch Keller. Now, there's a few things going on here that are worth talking about. The first thing is Keller would make sense. Pittsburgh's a small market team. And if they're going to hold on to Paul Skeens, when there was some trade rumors surrounding Skeens this year because of his hefty contract, well, to come, right? One of the best pitchers in baseball. The Pirates may have to be selective with their payroll. And that makes perfect sense. And so for Keller, he's in the midst of a 5-year, $77 million contract. Got that extension. That's 20% of the Pirates' payroll this year. And it goes up. You look at the contract through 28, $16.5 million, $18 million, $20 million. You know, so every year it escalates. That's how contracts work. Not exorbitant for a big market team like the Cubs if the guy goes out there and pitches to all-star form. And we saw him as an all-star in 2023. He was a great pitcher, and that's how he got the contract extension. So it's an escalating deal. The Cubs, they need some help in the starting rotation. And Keller, who leads the league in losses, has pitched well enough to have some wins, right? He's been very consistent, but the offense hasn't been very consistent. They haven't really helped him out with a whole lot of run support. But he's 6'3", 212. He's a right-hander. He's in the prime of his career right now. Last time out, he beat the Mets in 5 1/3 innings, 94 pitches. And on the season, he's made 17 starts, and that's been one of the characteristics you'll love about Keller is that he is a workhorse. Through 194 innings in 23, that was his all-star year, 13-9, and had a 4.21 ERA. 2024, a year ago, he was 11-12, had a 4.25 ERA. We've seen him. You guys know who he is. I mean, we've faced him a bunch. He gets a lot of strikeouts, walks some batters, but he's a very competitive pitcher. This year, 2-10 in 17 starts. That's tied for the league lead. 99 in the third innings, 96 hits, and 77 strikeouts. And, you know, it's not like when you look at his last 5 times out, or really his entire season, that he's been bad. He's had a couple of bad outings, but for the most part, he's been really consistent. And what helps the Cubs on this deal is, in my opinion, what helped the Yankees in the Cody Bellinger deal. Cubs wanted that money off the books, and they sent him over there and $5 million just to get him out. Pirates may be kind of looking at it the same way. The money's part of this. And, you know, if you're the Cubs, you've kind of been under payroll. Hey, if you're competing, we'll spend it. This is an opportunity to add someone you're going to have to spend for, but could be around for a while too. You got a lot of control over Keller. Now, Keller as a pitcher, you look at his repertoire, and he's a 6-pitch pitcher. He's got a 4-seam fastball, throws that 34% of the time. So that's the up in the zone fastball, just about 94 miles an hour. That's the average, maybe 95 kind of in there. He's got a sweeper. That's the pitch that kind of comes in and goes like I said, like sweeps across the plate, so it's like a breaking ball that kind of goes this way. He throws that 19% of the time. He's got a slider 17% of the time, sinker 15% of the time, curveball 8%, changeup 7%. So mostly 4-seam fastball, sweeper, slider, sinker, and then, he'll occasionally mix in a curve or a change, right? In his career, 38-60 record and a 4.91 ERA. That's all those years with Pittsburgh. He was a second-round pick by the Pirates out of Xavier High School in Iowa back in 2014. And he's 29 years old. I say he's in his prime. I mean, you feel like with a guy like this, how many times have you seen a team that struggles, a last-place team, trade a pitcher like this, and then all of a sudden they're one of the best pitchers in baseball? Cubs have been one of, and I know they didn't score any yesterday, but their offense has been amongst the league's best in scoring runs. I don't think that's going to change. He's a guy that hasn't gotten a ton of run support. Cubs go out there and score him some runs, and I think he's proven in the past that he's a winner. Now, I talked about what the Cubs could potentially give the Pirates. I said money was first thing, taking money off the books on a contract that they have. They're going to get some prospects back. And a guy that you need to be, and we've talked about on this channel, that you need to be paying attention to is AA starter Jaxon Wiggins. Scratched twice this week from starts in AA. Was supposed to start on Thursday. Then on Sunday, he didn't make either one of those starts. There's nothing wrong with him. He's healthy. They're holding him back for something. The reason why I have Wiggins as someone that the Pirates would want is because he's someone that the Pirates would want. Any team in baseball would want him. He's a hard thrower. He's coming into his own. He was a pitcher at Arkansas, dealt with some injuries. He's healthy, fireballer. He's also found control and command this year. And he's mixed up his pitches, but the fastball is really electric. I think he could pitch in the bullpen today for the Cubs. But they've got him as a starter. That's where you want your value to be anyway. When you have a pitcher, even if you think that eventually they're going to be in the bullpen, you still in the minor leagues, you want them to start and get as many innings as possible. But he's been a highlight. His stock's doing nothing but rising. And when you make a trade for a pitcher, you want a pitcher back. That's just the way that it works for the most part, unless you get back Pete Crow Armstrong, right? Unless you get back just an elite, super elite prospect. But for the most part, when you're in front office, you're giving up a pitcher, you're going to want somebody that maybe in a year or so will be there to replace him. And the Pirates have a ton of young arms, pitching depth, not just Paul Skeens, that they're looking at and saying, hey, we may be a contender in the next couple years, whereas the Cubs are trying to win right now. Now, you ask why the Cubs may want to get rid of Jaxon Wiggins. I honestly, because he has value, but, he can sit 96, 97, 98. He can hit triple digits. He's been very consistent throwing. He was a guy that pitched 2 seasons at Arkansas, but missed with Tommy John surgery, his 3rd Tommy John surgery. So, that's a lot of Tommy John surgeries. You hope for his sake that this is the one that kind of sticks. But super athletic, really stands out as far as his delivery goes. Very smooth, easy throw. I think he's better now than when he was a collegiate pitcher at throwing strikes, less walks, being aggressive. Scout grades anywhere from 65 to 70 on the fastball. He's got a good slider, a developing changeup. His control's gotten better. And so he's made a jump this year, and teams are going to look at him and are looking at him and thinking, hey, that this is a guy we can get And he could be part of your bullpen like now. You know, if you called him up and put him in the bullpen, the Cubs could have him in the back end of the bullpen helping out today if they wanted to. And maybe if you do the deal where you trade and get Keller and Bednard, maybe you trade the Pirates get him and he's their new closer. But the way that Pittsburgh played against the Mets, maybe they don't want to do this deal. But I think long term, if you're the Pirates, you're looking at this going, hey, we're not going to win the World Series this year. But with Paul Skeens, if we can build a team around him and the rest of those young prospects that are coming up, Wiggins could be part of that. And you get the money that you are owed or that's owed to Keller. You know, maybe this is the beginning of something big in that direction. Now, Wiggins is just one guy, and I'm not saying that there couldn't be some other guys involved in this. Drew Sanders. Cam was another Sanders. Drew Sanders in AAA Iowa's been a really good starter. He's someone that I've looked at. You know, maybe you look at Jordan Wicks and say, hey, you know what? We know he can pitch. He's in AAA right now. Ben Brown, who's been in the big leagues. I don't think the Cubs are going to trade Cade Horton. I wouldn't do that unless I was getting back Paul Skeens. But there's some other options there as well. Maybe they go position player and they go with James Triantos or Moises Ballesteros or Jonathan Long. I mean, there's some guys. The Cubs have some guys. Kevin Alcantara. I would not trade, and I've told you guys this over and over again, I would not trade Owen Casey unless I'm definitely signing Kyle Tucker. No other way I'm making that move because I see him as the future of the outfield for the Cubs. So that's where we are right now. And we'll see what happens. Paying close attention, being that it's an off day, anything can happen. And who knows, maybe by the time you're watching this video, it already has gone down. And if it hasn't, we're going to be on the channel as soon as it does to give you our breakdown of exactly what the deal looks like to us. But I think the Cubs are nearing a deal for a starting pitcher. We've talked about it over and over again. And I think that the time is now for them. They want to make it happen sooner than later. So you guys tell me in the comments section, what do you think? Cubs making a deal? Are you confident that they're going to make the right deal? Starting pitching, maybe somebody in the bullpen. Are you feeling like maybe a third baseman would help? The bench, no good. I mean, do you feel confident that when you're in a close game that you're going to bring Brujan out and he's going to do something to help you win? I mean, is he going to run into one? You know, Birdie's got some speed, but to me, the Cubs the Cubs bench seems very weak. You know, so even if you go get a third baseman and you move Shaw to the bench and use him as a utility guy, I think that really would bolster this team because I just not enamored right now with what the Cubs options are coming off the bench. You know, and I even put Justin Turner in there too. But I do like him being on the team. I know that he is a good clubhouse guy, but very weak bench. So anyway, that's where we are right now. That's the show. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thanks for being here. As always, exciting times. Kind of seeing what's going to happen here. Cubs make some moves. And when they do, you know that you can count on us to break it down. Thanks for hanging. Go Cubs.